So this right here is my African river aquarium that I've set up for like 7 months now. The build videos have 1.2 million views, so you guys must have loved it. A lot's changed since I set it up though. So one of the main issues that I'm having is the crystal wart, also known as riccia moss, even though it's not a moss. This stuff is crazy. I didn't even put that much in to start with, but now it's just covering most of the tank. It's actually stopped light getting to some of the lower down plants, which means that they're gone, which is a bit of a bummer because there were some really nice plants down there. It's my own fault, I should have, got on top of this earlier, but I'm going to be doing it now and I'm going to replace the plants as well. And to be honest, I do not think there's going to be any way to sort of fix this other than just pulling it all out. I've just got to turn off all the filters and just let it float up after I've ripped it. Now, I did not realise there was this much mulm in the tank, to be honest, but it does make sense, doesn't it? By having those riccia in those bottom areas, we've basically blocked all of the flow. Now, as a result, that mulms will settle in those areas. It doesn't seem to be much detriment to the tank, and it actually is probably more realistic of a natural ecosystem. That said, we don't have millions of gallons of water flowing through here constantly, do we? So we need to get that cleaned up and siphoned out. I'm just going to let it settle first, and then I can just do it with the hose. And that can actually be part of a full water change as well. This tank's not had a water change in I don't even know how long. And just look at that, we have got a lot of riccia there. And a wise man once said, always pay attention to the level of your water when you're siphoning out your tank. So you can see here I've taken out a good 20% of the tank so far. And many people ask me why I don't get those scum lines on my tank. Well, as you can see here, I do. I just usually, wipe them off before I start filming. And to be honest, if you keep up on it, it actually comes off really easy. So I'm just using this is like a non-stick pan sponge, so it doesn't scratch the glass at all, but it's abrasive enough to take off that scum line really easily. I just splashed water all in my mouth. So the next section we need to sort out is on top of the tank up here. So you can see on top, we've got all these floating plants. This is mini water lettuce, and it's sort of ingrained with riccia and, it's actually quite gooey and gross. It's not doing very well. It's right underneath the light, so if there was algae in this tank, it would be on this section. I think there's some in there. We've got a little bit of black brush or black beard algae on some of the plants. It's not bothering me at all, actually. It looks pretty decent. I mean, ecosystems have algae. Let's just leave it at that. Oh yeah, this stuff is not great. It's all coming up in one nice big clump though, which is good. Getting off most of it there. I don't think this tank needs all these floating plants anymore anyway. I can always add some back if I need to at a later date, because yeah, it's getting too much. They're not really growing that well either, to be honest, because there's probably not that many nutrients for them. They're so fast growing. Yeah, let's just get them out. Now, one really useful thing is that when I put my net in like this and start scooping stuff out, all the fish tend to go away. All the little baby crebensis that we've got in here, they're all just hiding, which means I can quite easily just scoop everything up without fear of catching any of them. They're not babies anymore, to be honest, so I can see them quite easily, and yeah, we're all good. So now we've removed all the riccia in this area, you can see the bottom parts of the S. repens is gone. I mean, I'm just going to give them a snip, and then I can replant them, can't I? Up you go. I'll just trim these ones a little bit shorter. Hopefully they'll regrow again. Some new shoots out the top. If not, it doesn't matter. We've got the new ones we're about to put in. It's so simple to do though, look, because it's a stem plant, you just got to push it into the sand bed. Little one right at the front. S. repen stems are quite brittle, so you've got to be a little bit careful. You can see some of these are a little bit sort of yellowy. Again, that's just where they've not been getting any light, so that should fix itself shortly. Little baby one. Okay, that is great. Now we can get a ton of water out. I'm going to do like 50% water change, and as the water's getting pulled out, I'm going to be swirling my hands in everywhere, getting all that gunk up into the water column and out of the tank. just realised I missed some gunk on this front glass, so I'm just going to remove that with a little razor scraper. Brilliant tool this. If you haven't got one, definitely get one. And then it's time to switch the filters on. There we go. So we are of course running 2 canister filters in this one. They provide the filtration as well as a massive sand bed that we've got. And then we've also got a, what's it called, a wave maker I guess? Or is that just a power head? One of the, it makes a wave, put it that way. So yeah, and that's what gives us that nice sort of shimmering effect. If I raise it up actually a little bit more, yeah, come up near the surface or point it more to the surface. There we go, we get an even better shimmering effect, just like in a river. So the filter's now been running for an hour and look how good the tank has turned out. As much as I love a great big wall of green, there's something even better about seeing the details of the wood and the stones, and the fish seem to have more room to play and dance in and out of it all as well. OG members of the channel remember how small these Crebensis were. They were tiny, obviously they're brand new born. We've got different generations in here to be honest, but these ones now are really, really good size and they're just so cute. I don't know how long we can keep them all in here together until, you know, there's fighting breaking out, but they're nowhere near the size of their dad yet, so hopefully we've got a long while before we need to actually remove some. And here is that black brush algae I was talking about. It's not bothering me too much. If you've got this in your tank, you want to get rid of it, I suggest taking a syringe and just blasting it with hydrogen peroxide. You have to spot treat each individual piece, but eventually it'll all die off. But like I said, it's not really bothering me, so I'll just leave it. To be honest guys, with the size of the tank and the filtration, I think we could actually put some more fish in here. What do you think? What could we possibly put? What would you recommend? Let me know in the comments if there's something specific that you think would go nicely with this group. Maybe one feature fish, I don't know, like, enlighten me. I'm not great with like all the different African fish. That said, don't go recommending the leopard leaf fish. Those guys get huge and will kill absolutely everything in this tank.